deep beneath the burning sands of Riyadh, a world record network of mega reservoirs is silently pumping a massive lifeline. Outside, a brutal 122 degrees Fahrenheit, heat suffocates all life, but inside this hidden grid never stops. How does a nation, one of only 18 on Earth, without a single natural river or lake, force billions of gallons of fresh water to survive hundreds of miles of scorching desert, defy gravity, and climb pure rocky mountains nearly 10,000 feet high? Get ready to explore the insane, high-pressure, mechanical engineering behind the largest enclosed artificial river on the planet. To understand why Saudi Arabia was desperate enough to construct this massive underground empire, you have to look at the silent geological disaster that unfolded right beneath their feet. For generations, everything this nation built was based on a dangerous assumption that the water hidden deep inside the earth would last forever. And that single assumption became the quiet fault line running underneath their entire survival story. Back in the 1980s, the kingdom launched a massive agricultural boom to turn the barren desert green. Engineers drilled thousands of deep extraction wells, tapping directly into the Al Asa aquifer. This wasn't ordinary groundwater. These were ancient fossil aquifers, prehistoric treasures locked away in dark rock chambers that took thousands of years of perfect geological isolation to form. Once that water is drawn to the surface, it is gone forever. It cannot be replaced, just like oil pumped from a depleting well. But at the time, the sheer abundance triggered a nationwide addiction to wasting fresh water. By 1992, annual water consumption soared to 7.5 trillion gallons. To put that scale into perspective, that is enough water to fill more than 27,000 massive skyscrapers every single year. The desert was green, the wheat fields were thriving, but the cost was catastrophic. The harsh reality caught up with the kingdom in 2012. In just 25 years, water levels in the Al Asa aquifer plummeted by nearly 500 feet. A staggering 80% of the nation's 132 trillion gallons of groundwater reserves was completely gone. The ancient reservoirs were running on empty, dry as bone, leaving 35 million people staring directly at a total system collapse. This immediate threat forced the government to launch an aggressive, military-grade survival plan. They deployed smart meters across every city, imposing crushing financial fines for a single leaky faucet or a watered lawn. In the fields, thirsty crops were ripped out and replaced with high-tech drip irrigation and moisture sensors, treating every single droplet like liquid gold. By 2020, this strict discipline worked, forcing nationwide consumption down to 4 trillion gallons, a massive 40% reduction. But even with these extreme cutbacks, the strategy only bought Saudi Arabia a little more time. It did not solve the structural crisis. Today, an average citizen still requires over 300 gallons of water per day. As the population explodes toward a projected 9 million people in Riyadh by 2035, the kingdom realized a brutal truth. You cannot solve a fatal shortage simply by rationing what is already disappearing. When your emergency storage is drying up, conservation only delays the inevitable. To stay alive, they needed a completely new, a limitless source of water, and they needed a way to move it before the clock ran out. To truly comprehend the sheer scale of Saudi Arabia's freshwater victory, you have to look at why a traditional, open-surface river model was completely off the table. If engineers had tried to dig a massive, open-air canal system across the desert, similar to the natural channel of the Nile, the geography itself would have sabotaged the operation before the water ever reached inland. Under a relentless sun, where ground temperatures regularly breach 122 degrees Fahrenheit, a massive open river becomes a massive evaporation trap. Millions of gallons of life-saving water would literally vanish into thin air, leaving nothing but cracked mud and salt flats behind. To bypass this brutal environmental barrier, the kingdom rejected nature's blueprints entirely and built a monster. They created an artificial river network made of sealed, high-pressure steel pipelines stretching over an absolute total of 880,000 miles. At its core runs a massive trunk main line covering 8,820 miles of dead desert plains. By wrapping the entire freshwater supply in thick carbon steel and burying it beneath the sand, engineers completely neutralize the sun. The water remains insulated, pure and safe from contamination. But conquering evaporation was only the first step. The real nightmare began when that water hit the massive rock wall blocking the path to the cities. This is where the operation transforms from a logistics challenge into a terrifying battle against physics and gravity. The coastal desalination plants sit at sea level, but the urban centers are locked deep behind barren, towering mountain ranges to deliver the water. Saudi Arabia has to push billions of gallons uphill, forcing it to climb straight up sheer vertical rock faces to a record peak altitude of 9,186 feet. This is not a gentle flow to shove that immense, a heavy volume of liquid over mountain peaks. A network of giant pumping stations must run 24/7, generating an intense mechanical force that eats up a staggering 9% of the entire nation's electricity grid. This extreme hydraulic pressure creates a high-stakes engineering vulnerability. Inside these heavy steel walls, the fluid is compressed so violently that it behaves less like a peaceful stream and more like a massive, coiled kinetic spring. At those extreme vertical slopes, the internal stress resembles a giant hydraulic bomb. Get the wall thickness or the valve timing even slightly wrong, and a sudden shockwave, a phenomenon engineers call a water hammer, will tear through the metal, causing an explosive rupture that would instantly drain the national network. Every single segment of pipe represents a precise calculation between structural survival and catastrophic failure. Yet day and night the system holds. This immense mechanical pushing force, the sheer physical mastery over thousands of miles of steel and altitude, is the exact reason this hidden river operates at all. But as the pumps strain to keep the cities alive, a different question emerges. Where exactly does the energy come from to generate billions of gallons of fresh water at the coast in the first place? To understand where this massive uphill river actually begins, you have to look past the mechanical brute force of the pipelines and travel straight to the edge of the Persian Gulf. Here sits the Ras Al Khair megacomplex, a colossal facility capable of generating 264 million gallons of fresh water every single day. But for decades, producing water on this scale along the coast required an unsustainable sacrifice. The early foundation of Saudi Arabia's water network relied entirely on multi-stage flash distillation. These legacy facilities are industrial behemoths, massive, sealed steel tanks stretching out as long as standard football fields. The mechanical principle behind them is straightforward. You heat the incoming seawater nearly to a boil, vaporize it through vacuum chambers with decreasing pressure, and then condense that steam into pure, drinkable water. While these distillation plants are incredibly durable, operating reliably for over 20 years without scaling issues, they possess a fatal flaw. They are energy vampires. To keep the boiling chambers running, the kingdom was forced into a brutal, counterproductive cycle, burning immense reserves of domestic oil just to keep the water flowing to its citizens. But then everything changed when engineers looked away from heavy thermal mechanics and turned toward the microscopic world of human biology. Instead of forcing water to boil, modern infrastructure utilizes reverse osmosis, a technology built entirely around the microscopic principles of living cells. Inside these high-tech facilities, immense mechanical pumps force the high-pressure seawater through ultra-thin polymer membranes. To understand the scale of this filtration, these synthetic barriers are just a few millionths of an inch thick. The physical pores within the polymer structure are so microscopic that they are thousands of times smaller than a single human hair. They are so incredibly tiny that even a basic biological virus cannot pass through, completely stripping away 99% of all salt and minerals at the molecular level. This shift from thermal boiling to molecular filtering creates a staggering gap in energy efficiency. The old distillation process was so power-intensive that it once devoured nearly 9% of the entire nation's electricity. In sharp contrast, a modern reverse osmosis system utilizes specialized energy recovery devices to achieve a near-perfect power balance. Today, it takes only 2.88 kilowatt-hours of electricity to extract 264 gallons of pure water. To put that technical efficiency into perspective, that is the exact same amount of electrical power required to run just 10 energy-saving LED light bulbs for a single hour. This single engineering realization, the difference between boiling an entire ocean and simply sliding it through a microscopic polymer matrix, completely transformed Saudi Arabia's survival strategy. It allowed the kingdom to scale its coastal production to an absolute total of 3 billion gallons a day across 41 separate facilities, generating 22% of the world's entire desalinated output. But as this microscopic tech solved the nationwide energy crisis at the coast, it simultaneously unlocked a hidden ecological time bomb under the waves. But as this brilliant filtration process scales up, it uncovers a dark, hidden imbalance beneath the waves. While the kingdom celebrates its massive supply of purified water at the coast, the marine ecosystem pays a brutal, immediate price. The physical law of water filtration is uncompromising. For every single liter of pure, drinkable water drawn through those advanced polymer membranes, up to 1.5 liters of hypersaline chemical water, a toxic byproduct known as brine, is instantly generated. Instead of being repurposed, this massive waste stream is pumped straight back into the ocean, accounting for an absolute total of 60% of the initial water intake. In the shallow enclosed waters of the Red Sea, where multiple heavy desalination facilities operate around the clock, this constant chemical dumping is creating dead zones. The discharged brine is so heavy that it plummeted straight to the ocean floor, forming dense, burning underwater lakes of concentrated salt. This artificial shifting of ocean properties raises both local water temperatures and salinity levels to toxic heights, cutting off oxygen and quietly erasing fragile local fish and coral reef populations. To prevent a total ecological collapse along its coastlines, Saudi Arabia had to completely re-engineer how it handles waste. Instead of letting the heavy brine settle on the seafloor, engineers deployed deep-sea multi-port diffusers. These high-tech underwater pipe networks split the toxic stream into thousands of tiny high-pressure jets, forcing the brine to mix rapidly with normal currents and neutralizing its deadly concentration in seconds. At the exact same time, the kingdom transformed this environmental liability into a major industrial asset through advanced brine mining, rather than discarding the waste. Specialized facilities treat the chemical stream as a liquid mine, extracting millions of tons of valuable minerals like magnesium, potassium, and high-purity metal ores, turning an ecological threat into a self-sustaining resource loop. Yet even with these deep-sea solutions in place, the nation's survival strategy faced an entirely different structural bottleneck. Fixed concrete land-based plants take several years of massive capital funding to construct, leaving remote coastlines and rapidly expanding coastal zones vulnerable to sudden shortages. To break this rigid dependency on permanent infrastructure, the state-run SWCC Corporation shifted toward an agile, high-mobility model. In 2022, they launched the first 3 massive floating desalination stations. These are not standard facilities, they are mobile, industrial superstructures built directly onto giant seafaring barges anchored off the coast. If a sudden economic boom or emergency drought strikes a specific coastal region, these floating giants can simply lift their heavy anchors and sail directly to the crisis zone, hooking straight into the national pipeline grid within days. Operating with massive modular efficiency, these vessels do not just provide emergency speed, they are a direct tool for the nation's green transition. By integrating these mobile grids with nearby offshore wind and solar fields, and the fleet is designed to help slice 37 million tons of carbon dioxide emissions, pushing the country toward its 2060 net zero climate target. This strategic evolution from fixed concrete to highly responsive maritime fleets proves that Saudi Arabia is no longer just managing its present crisis. They have transformed the entire geography of resource security. But as these mobile platforms master the coast, they are simultaneously setting the stage for a massive geopolitical shift that will completely rewrite the global equation of power. This entire engineering marvel forces us to reframe everything we think we know about geopolitical power in the Middle East. For the past century, global wealth and strategy revolved entirely around a single liquid resource, crude oil. But as the world transitions away from fossil fuels, Saudi Arabia is silently executing a massive resource flip. They have realized a brutal truth about the 21st century. You can survive without black gold, but you cannot survive without clear water. The ultimate equation of power has officially shifted, and water is the new currency of national survival. To fund this post-oil reality, the kingdom is directly connecting its artificial river network to a massive green infrastructure. By linking the advanced reverse osmosis membrane systems straight to endless, gigawatt-scale solar fields running day and night across the plains, they are disconnecting water production from oil consumption entirely. This integration ensures that the massive mechanical pumping stations can push billions of gallons of fresh water inland without burning a single depleting barrel. By 2060, This clean energy integration is projected to hit absolute net zero targets, ensuring that the nation's life support network is completely self-sustaining. But the true significance of this pipeline river system goes far beyond the borders of Saudi Arabia. What the kingdom has engineered is not just a localized fix. It is a master blueprint for global survival that can be directly exported to the world's most desperate, drought-stricken regions. Imagine applying this exact mechanical model to Africa's hyper-arid Sahel region, where vanishing lakes have triggered endless humanitarian crises. Picture these high-pressure pipelines slicing through South America's desert Atacama, transforming the driest sand on Earth into productive infrastructure. Even in highly developed nations like the United States, where the state of California faces historic, structural groundwater depletions, the Saudi model of coastal reverse osmosis, combined with long-distance uphill logistics, could become the ultimate rescue network. If coastal nations work together, these mobile floating fleet units and enclosed pipeline rivers could redefine human geography, bringing reliable water to hundreds of millions of people who have been historically abandoned by nature. So what do you think? Can this massive mechanical infrastructure permanently save the world's thirstiest places? Will we eventually see massive, artificial rivers carving through the desert plains of America or Africa, or perhaps even right outside your window? Leave a comment below with your thoughts, and let's start a discussion. And if you want to stay ahead of the curve on how human engineering is constantly challenging the limits of nature to survive, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss another deep dive story.